recording. That's the thing. I guess you should have a microphone for it, I guess. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
What's happening?
Nothing.
All
Just
right.
watching the new dog.
The new what? Oh, the dog.
The new dog.
Where's the young lass at?
She's eating right now, just to my left.
Good job. Good job, Lyra.
Hi, Lyra. Come here. Come here.
Oh. I don't think she likes that.
She's very shy.
She seems to be warming up to you, though, huh?
Oh, yeah. She's been laying next to me the whole entire day.
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Adam
her.
has to play tonight, so she just bonded with me.
All right, all right.
All right. Go back to eating. Sorry I interrupted you. Now she's just going to stare at me like, what? Well, I thought we were doing something.
Are we going to play?
Yeah. It's not playtime right now. We were playing earlier. She still doesn't really understand the concept of fetch.
Yeah, that can be a tough one.
You know, she goes and gets it, and she runs back, she'll start running towards you, and then just veer off. Oh, Jesus. Well, you gotta warn me. She jumped into my lap, but, nailed her head on my elbow.
Aw.
And then just, jumped right over. You didn't even see it. She's a small dog. We're not really sure, I guess, what breed she is. I thought we knew, but not sure anymore. But she has the leaps.
Yeah?
She hops. She can make it from the back of the couch to the top of the couch and then over the couch.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's a jumper.
That's good, I guess.
What? You're just going to stare at me the whole entire time?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Come here. Come here. Well, you're the one that hit your head on my elbow. Come here. I guess. If you want to be a lap dog, you can be a lap dog today. Whatever.
Whatever. Oh. She's like, what's happening? What am I looking at? What is this thing?
She's afraid of shadows, I think. Either that or she has a memory of a goldfish, because obviously the first day that she was here, she didn't really know me very well, so she was very hesitant around me. Day 2, she was much better around me. Day 3, she was afraid of me. Day 4, she loved me. So, yeah, she's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah. So today's a love day. Tomorrow, when I get home from work, will probably be who the fuck are you day.
Who is this?
Who dis?
Who dis?
It also could be that I had my hair down, too. She's not used to the hair being down. She's used to it being up.
That makes sense.
You know, hair down, it's like a superhero. It's like, who the fuck are you?
Hair up's like, that's Joe.
Hair up, it's like, oh, you're that other guy that lives here.
You're the other one that gives me food.
Yeah. You be good? She doesn't bark at all. Well, I mean, she does, but she doesn't really bark too much.
That's good.
Yeah. No, you're going to jump down? Okay. Bye. Bye. All right. I was watching the first 2 episodes of Super Crooks.
Oh, yeah?
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's actually dubbed in English.
Oh, they have a dub version?
Yeah.
So
you can watch it.
I don't know when it changed, but at one point in my life, I had no problem with subtitles. Movies, anime, whatever it was. And then I don't know if it's my attention span or I'm lazy or Well, I used to attribute it to like I used to miss stuff all the time while trying to read what everyone's saying and understand what the hell's going on.
Yep.
And so like I kind of got in this thing where like I just don't want, like, I'm watching a visual media, but I'm reading it, so I'm not actually experiencing the visual media.
Yeah.
And at one point, my brain's just like, you know what? You don't like this anymore. I'm like, hey, that's weird. I don't like this anymore.
I've never liked it. Never. In fact, when I play video games, the first thing I do is make sure that subtitles are off. And the reason why is because exactly that. I tend to, even if the voices are in English, I see subtitles, I just have to subconsciously read it. Yeah. So I start reading it, and I realize I'm not actually watching the action of what's going on. So I have to actively turn the subtitles off to prevent myself from doing that. But in cases like this, that's why I'm like you. I won't watch subtitled anime because I feel like I'm sitting there reading the whole entire time and missing the action.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when I found out that Super Crooks did come out, and then you said that it's subbed, or that it's subtitled, I was like, oh, that sucks. But I wanted to see for myself because I was scrolling through. I had only an hour before we started here. I was like, what do I want to watch that I don't really want to invest in? And Super Crooks was right there. They're only 24 minutes an episode. And so it was like, boom, watch. And it was like, oh, no, it's dubbed. Okay. It's not too bad. Okay. And it's actually pretty good so far. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I do love me some Super Crooks, so that's good. Now,
whether or not I'm actually going to get back to it tonight or any other time soon is going to be questionable because good fucking Lord has so much shit come out in the last just couple of weeks that I have to pick and choose what I'm gonna finish. I still have 2 episodes left of Cowboy Bebop, which I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are in a second here. Lock and Key, I never even started watching season 2. I totally blanked on it until like a couple days ago. It just dawned on me that I never even started watching season 2. Lost in Space just dropped as well. The final season, if I recall right.
Yep.
All the other animated shows that I watch, Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, even Great North, or what's that other one? There's a new one that came out this past year that's pretty good that I just haven't finished watching yet either. The one with the dogs. Yeah, I can't remember what it is now. It has Phoebe as the voice of one of the dogs. Fun Fox.
Oh my God, what is the name of that fucking show?
Anyway, still watching that. It's a great show. It's really funny. But I just literally dropped off and haven't finished it yet either. And there's like I know there's fucking shit that I'm missing. And then of course in the next couple of weeks we have The Witcher coming out.
That's not next week after. It's the same week Spider-Man comes out.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's the same day. Actually,
I like how it feels like we go from a time of having basically nothing to watch. Oh, Hawkeye. Watched the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye. 3rd episode came out today, and I just haven't felt good enough to watch. Which so in this mixed jumble of thoughts that I have right now, what is because you finished Cowboy Bebop.
I did.
I still have 2 episodes left, so obviously no spoilers. I've watched the original anime, so it's not a whole lot of spoilers anyway. What is your impression of it?
So, I like it. I say that with a but. It's like in my brain, I'm doing the whole like, oh, I'm a big fan of the anime. They changed so much. That's a dumb statement because like obviously they're going to, which is in a way I don't wish they would have. I wish they would have actually just not a shot for shot fucking remake, but like did all the episodes. You know what I mean? And that way you can explore more, obviously. But it's enjoyable. I would like to talk to someone who's never seen Cowboy Bebop and has no idea what Cowboy Bebop is and get their impression of it. Paige was like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but I don't think I'm a fan of it. I was like, that makes sense because this is a real weird show.
Yes.
The anime is weird. I've never read the manga, but I'm guessing the manga is probably just as weird. And the show and the TV show is pretty weird. I like what they did with the show. The special effects, the way it's shot is awesome. The action's real fun. There's a couple moments where the action feels a little too rehearsed. And it's the multiple people, which is always the failing of any action show or movie, is when there's too many people, there's someone who's waiting to do something because it's choreographed. And when that happens, it's just sometimes especially on multiple viewings of the same thing, you'll see it and you'll be like, super awkward. Like you're just stopping, waiting for your opportunity to attack, when really, if you're trying to kill this person or stop this person, maim this person, whatever you're doing, really attacking them when they're busy fighting someone else is probably the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But, and in this, there was only I think the only time I really noticed it in this was the, never mind, you haven't got there yet, scene. So, there you go. So the biggest thing to me is what they did do well is they had these really cool scenes that you could literally just be like, that's from the show.
Yep.
And there's two moments I vividly remember from the show that I really wanted to see that I didn't get. You have 2 episodes left, right?
2 episodes left, correct. So the last one I watched was Mad Hero. Don't eat the wire.
Was which one? Mad what?
Hero.
Okay.
The Frenchman.
Yeah.
Laughing Frenchman.
Yeah. That was a pretty cool one because it wasn't as elaborate with the movements that Spike does, like the cartwheels and flips and shit like that. But they did a pretty good job of having a human being dodge gunfire and throw knives in a very meaningful way, which is pretty cool. The 2 scenes that I really wish they would have put in the episodes. One is sequences, not scenes. Sequences. That's what I'm looking for. Sequences.
Yeah.
Is the fight between Spike and what is his name? The guy, the dog napper. I can't think of his name right now.
Hakeem,
yeah.
Because he was made to look like Hakeem Abdul-Olajuwon.
Yes.
Yeah. The big basketball player.
Yeah. So the scene I'm talking about is the bridge scene where basically they're fighting. Spike has no idea what's going on yet. Which there's a scene like that in the live action. It's just not the same because it's one of those things where like budgetary reasons, because like the place they're fighting is like Venice, where there's like streets of water and there's boats and stuff, and they're on this bridge and they're having this fight where they're matching each other's moves and they're kind of showing off, and Ein is there, and Akeem is trying to get Ein because he finds out Ein is different, obviously, which he doesn't really. He kind of does in the live action, but doesn't in the live action, because he picks the lock and everything like that. And so Ein jumps off onto the boat. Akeem goes after him, lands. Spike jumps down, kicks Akeem, and then Ein kicks him in the face and knocks himself and Spike into the water. And he's like, "What's going on?" Like, and then obviously like the boat blows up and stuff, and you're like, "Oh, like he saved you," but it's weird. It was like I don't know why that scene I fixated so much on and remembering, but like I kind of wish I would have seen that.
It's funny and fun. It was like this weird, serious fight, but then ends with a dog like outsmarting two men, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, all right. Well, I guess maybe, you know. And the other scene is the I think it's the introduction of Edward, which obviously you haven't got to yet in the new one, in the live action. But like it's the whole like the car going down the deserted highway. I think it's on Jupiter when they're there. I can't remember when it was or where they were. And there's the person in the trunk, which I believe is Faye. Because the bounty like outsmarts her or whatever. But anyways, there's like that really bizarre introduction of Ed is definitely not the same. Definitely not the same. Mm-hmm. Anyways, those are two. I mean, there's a bunch of other scenes too that like, not that I wish they were in the show, but like those were like kind of like iconic ways. But there's so many really cool. Just this is directly from the anime, and even like down to like how he like how Spike walks. Like how John Cho makes him walk with his hands in his pockets, and his you know he's got that blue suit on, and he's just kind of like a stroll in a way. There's like Jet was amazingly done. Couple parts where his beard looks a little wonky because of like the being stuck to his face and not having normal humanish hair on him, but Mustafa Shakir, I think his name is, who plays Jet Black. He does an amazing job, and he's really good as Jet. I don't have any real problems with him. It did take me like 2 seconds to realize where I knew him from, because like, man, this dude looks super familiar, and then I realized he was the Bushmaster from Luke Cage, and I was like, he just doesn't have the accent he was using in that. That's why it's different. Also, he has a metal arm. He has a metal leg in this, right? Like, I know in the show, in the cartoon, anime, he has a metal leg as well as the metal arm.
I don't think they really play up.
When you get to the last episode of the first season, hopefully of not the show, but the first season, if you know what I mean, you'll see what I mean, as I think they tell us in a way. You'll see when you get there, because I don't want to spoil nothing for you. But the final episode of the season is the church showdown. If that helps you with anything.
I gathered that because that was a big thing in the actual anime.
Yeah.
And obviously they show that famous scene as part of the trailers. And 8 episodes in now that you haven't gotten it, so it obviously ends at that scene. Hopefully not really on a cliffhanger, but whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so it ends on a cliffhanger. Thanks. That's all. We're not sure if we're going to be back for season 2, so we're going to just leave it on a cliffhanger. Use your imagination if it doesn't come back. Which, as of right now, I still don't think that they've announced a season 2 yet.
I have not heard anything yet. I know I can imagine this show costs a lot of money, because have you've seen you had to have seen it, because hold on, let me look at the episode names if I remember. You're on 8. Binary 2-step. Yeah. Okay. So episode 6, Binary 2-step, is the one where Spike goes to track down a lead from Ed, Radical Ed, And he goes to that place when he gets he puts the goggles on and he's stuck in that like VR loop.
Yeah.
That episode alone had to cost the most money when it comes to special effects, and probably is the most, like, I would almost imagine the hardest one to shoot. Because it's Groundhog's Day-ish, obviously with the loop going through, you keep seeing the same stuff. And obviously it advances and does a lot of the same things. But it's the visual touches they put to let the viewer know that it's a loop and you're inside the computer, not actually in the real world, that sort of thing. And it's just the visuals, like the glitching and the like. I was trying to think of the word for it. It's not like a digitized, but it's almost like a.
There's definitely a filter that they put over it that makes it the lines, I can't think of it either. I've seen that effect somewhere, but it makes the differences between the lines, essentially adding lines to a character or a live action person. I can't think what it is though.
It's like what they did. Like, it's almost cell shaded in a way.
Yeah.
But it's what they did in the Altered Carbon when they went in the virtual, when they plugged into the virtual world and they like where Poe was at and stuff. Or not Poe, but where Poe was reconditioning what's her face. They did the same thing, but they did it like the opposite. They made it look less real because of it. Where it was flashes of it to let you know that things are changing. But I mean, there's a lot in that episode that is going on. But the set pieces have got to be pretty expensive to make. The special effects. I mean, the space stuff looks amazing. The ships look really good. I mean, when the Bebop's landing in water or taking off out of water, they don't shy away from it. They don't do it from like a far distance. They do close up when you can see water running off the ship and things like that, where it's got to cost a good amount of money. But at this point, if you're Netflix, you kind of have a lot of this kind of narrowed down. I don't know how the inner workings of the studio work and if they share with other projects that they work on. But like, for example, Altered Carbon, that has a real world aesthetic, but obviously is a set because there's a lot of digital enhancement for background and things like that. Lost in Space, for example, massive sets, but with digital enhancements. The ships obviously is a big thing, a completely CG character on it. There's another one I was thinking too, was that movie Mother. Did you ever watch that?
Mother.
Where it's like the android robot thing was raising the kid.
Oh no, I've seen clips of it, but a lot of that was actually practical effects.
Yeah, well, and so is the robot from Lost in Space, where he's part of him is practical when people are interacting with him, but he's for the most part obviously digital. But what I'm saying is it's a very expensive show, I can imagine, and hopefully it generates enough viewership for them to make more.
It just concerns me that they haven't announced it already. They're usually, at least from what I can remember, pretty good at like, oh, this did really well, week 1 numbers. We're going to greenlight it for season 2.
Yeah.
Or we've previewed this ourselves and liked it so much, we're going to greenlight season 2 before even season 1 even comes out. So, I mean, hopefully it's just taking them a while to realize the numbers, and hopefully people are like, and kind of, this is a weird thing because they've done the live action anime before, and twice before this, Death Note and also Attack on Titan.
They didn't do Attack on Titan.
They didn't do Attack on Titan. Okay.
No, they've done Death Note. They're working on Avatar right now. I thought
they did one more, but I know there was a Japanese Attack on Titan. I thought they did their own version of Attack on Titan. Maybe I'm just mistaken it. But Death Note wasn't well received. Oh no, they didn't do Dragon Ball. That was a movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know Death Note wasn't well received because it strayed too far away from the source material. So I'm hoping that they're just kind of like, we did this. We're going to gauge the waters over time and see how people like it. It's getting. I've seen people on Twitter, even though I'm not on Twitter, say that they like it. So hopefully it gets greenlit for season 2, because I'm much in the same boat as you. In fact, pretty much everything that you've said is something I've said in the past couple of weeks when I've tried to explain it to somebody, whether the show is good or not. I do like it. I really do. There's just a lot of little nitpicks that I have of it that makes it sound like I probably don't like it. Yeah. But overall, the show is really good. It's shot really well. The CG is so well done. The acting is so fucking phenomenal. Going into it, I know I've said this before, with the 3 main actors, as soon as I like heard what Jet sounds like, I was like, Mustafa Shakir, dude, sounds exactly like Bo Billingsley, I think is what his name is. The American voice actor for, or I should say the English voice actor for Cowboy Bebop, almost sounds exactly the same. And his look is damn near fucking perfect. So he sold me as his character. John Cho, voice is a little bit off, but whatever. As soon as I started seeing his action and the way he plays the character, spot on.
Yep.
I wasn't a huge fan of Faye even during the anime, so when they casted Faye for the live action, I was like, not really one of my favorite characters, but whatever. But by mid-season, the actress who plays her, which is Daniela Pineda, fucking fantastic. She has the mannerisms and the attitude just down. And I do like that they toned down her, because Faye in the anime has that very anime girl sexualness to her, and they toned it down here and more or less toned up her attitude and badassness here. And I thoroughly enjoy that. But I will say, you said it perfectly. There were some action scenes, and unfortunately, I thought the very first action scene of the very first episode felt so much like they were still practicing the choreography, and then the director just yelled, "Okay, cut, print," and everybody's just like, "Wait, what? We're done with this?" Because it just felt like, okay, I'm gonna block, you're gonna punch, okay, I'm gonna block, and then you're gonna punch here, I'm gonna block you here. It just still felt very slow and very like they're still trying to figure things out. And I was just like, oh, this is how the action sequences, and the way it was shot too, just didn't feel right. So I was so afraid that going forward that this is how all the action sequences were going to be, and I was like, this is not going to be good, because this is a very action oriented show. Thankfully, it does get a lot better. There still are some sequences here and there where it still feels a little wonky, but for the most part, it is actually the action sequences are really done really well. As far as how close it is to the show, there are definitely points and that I absolutely love where it's like, oh shit, this is the eco-terrorist episode, with those people that I can't even remember what it was that they were trying to save, the Ganymede something or other. I can't remember what it was.
Well, it's funny because it's the Ganymede Rainforest because they were deforesting it.
In the anime, it was an animal, it was a critter.
Yeah, they mention it. Yeah, they mention it in this too. But yeah, it's funny that they emphasize the Ganymede Rainforest, which is and I think someone in the show even said it, which is a man-made terraformed thing because Ganymede, doesn't have plants on it or an atmosphere. But we made it. They terraformed it to have it, but then we were deforesting it for wood for buildings. And I was like, that is such the greatest some hippie who's just find a reason to be a fucking eco-terrorist, but doesn't realize what they're being eco-terrorists around, and then they're turning people into trees. And I was like, you literally are showing you have the technology to reforest Ganymede by telling people you want to reforest. I was like, that's the greatest like idiotic move I've ever seen. It was so good. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, but it was that episode that really gave me like it's the exact episode that really shows you like how good this show is at being different from the original anime, but also like kind of a letdown at the same time because it's not like the original anime. That episode in and of itself, it doesn't really deal with the terraforming Ganymede, but it does deal with the whatever that animal is. And the terrorists were threatening to unleash a virus or something that would basically de-evolve people back into apes.
Yep.
And at the very end of that episode, they have that chase in the jump gate, which was just a really awesome, thrilling chase. It ends kind of anticlimactically, but that's just how that show is. And that chase is one of my favorite scenes of that episode. So I liked where they started with the live action version of it, where it's not solely based around whatever that creature is. I can't remember what it is, but the fact that they are terraforming Ganymede, which makes sense from a more realistic point of view, that you're trying to terraform something. But then that it's not a virus that they're using, but they're going to use the stuff that they use to create trees on Ganymede. They're going to turn people into trees rather than turning them into monkeys, which, didn't really make sense in the anime. So it makes more sense here to use that technology on those people as terrorists. And I was like, that's so much better than turning them into monkeys. But then it builds up to that point where I'm like, are we going to get the gate chase? Are we going to get that? Are we going to get that? And we don't get it. And I was like, that would have been such a cool visual for them to see Spike. And it bothered me a little bit too that Faye and Jet don't have their personal crafts in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, so I was
Faye eventually does get hers, and I don't know about Jet. He might get his in the last couple of episodes. But it strikes me as a weird omission because scenes like that, that is an episode where you have Faye and you have Spike in their respective vehicles chasing after the eco-terrorists in the slipstream, trying to stop them from launching that missile that would turn everybody on Ganymede into monkeys. It's such an awesome chase sequence that we don't get, and part of the reason probably is because we don't have Faye's vehicle in this. We only have Spike's swordfish. So it was very that's how the show kind of is that there's a whole lot of like, oh man, I remember that from the anime. Oh, that's awesome. That's so well done from the anime. Mad Perot, the fucking mad Frenchman, dude. The guy who they got to play him, so fucking good. But it's still a weird change of episode, how it's not him, and I don't remember the full episode in the anime, but if I recall right, he's killing businessmen for some reason. I don't remember why, but he's killing businessmen for some reason. Whereas in the show, he's an assassin, so they're not going after him necessarily because he's a bounty, but because he's trying to kill Spike. Yeah. So it's just kind of weird. I feel like, at least in the live action, we're getting a lot less of them being bounty hunters and more of this, I don't know. You're getting more of the bleed through of Spike's past coming to haunt him, essentially.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I wish they would have done all the episodes from the anime. There's only 26...
24, I believe. 24 plus a movie.
Yeah, I can't remember. Hold on, I had it up here somewhere. Or maybe I didn't. Nope, I think I closed that tab. Anyways, yeah, there's only like 20-something episodes, so you could have split that up. And obviously the time frame, there's a lot they jumbled around to get to where you needed to go so you could have the season finale be what it is, obviously. What is the name of Jet's ship? Not the Bebop, but his actual...
I want to say it was the Hammerhead or something like that.
I was going to look up. I know he... Oh, my goodness. Because he has they're called Zip something or others. What do they call them? They don't call them ships. They call them something else. Dang it. Zipcraft? Is that what they're called?
I have it. I believe Jet's ship is called the Hammerhead. Because Spike's was Swordfish, Jet's is the Hammerhead, and I never really cared what Faye's ship was called.
Red Tail.
So was it called the Red Tail?
The Red Tail, yeah.
Which is weird because it's not red and it doesn't really have much of a tail, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't.
Zipcraft. The Zipcraft crew of the usual. Let's see. The main hangar is in the foremost part of the upper deck, containing the flight deck with a gate. The Zipcraft of the crew usually take off from here. So yeah, they're generally known as Zipcraft.
Yeah, here is the Hammerhead. That's what I was looking for. It is the Hammerhead. Because there's the Hammerhead, the Swordfish 2, and then there's the Red Tail, or Red Tails. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. Boom. Yeah, because they don't take the Bebop around the planet. They usually dock it, and then they're driving one of their various motorcycles or whatever, or flying in their ship, their Zipcraft, to a place. It was weird to me because like you saw in the Eco Terrace one, they steal her ship, and I was like, that doesn't look like
that's not her ship.
And then later she gets it, but I was like, that's a weird way of doing it.
When she got it, I was like, oh yeah, that's fucking awesome. She finally got it. She got her ship. It's weird that she didn't have it from the beginning, but yeah, awesome that she got it. And I'm still like I said, I'm still waiting for Jet to get his ship if he ever gets it. He has that motorcycle, that trike motorcycle. Apparently they lasted into the future. Weird. Whatever.
Well, there's a lot of retro technology in the future still in this.
Fair.
Like, it's not COVID or post-COVID where everything's, in the future and sings to you or whatever. Which I really want to talk to you about that South Park special, if you don't mind, in a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, I'm pretty much done here. The only last thing I would say is that the only weirdness I still find weird about the show is the actor that they got to play Vicious. I think he's okay for the role, but I don't know. There's still something about him that's off to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's he shows too much emotion, as I think the problem is in the show. I think that's what it is. I think he just he acts well. I mean, he's acting to the part. But the thing about Vicious is when he does show emotion, that's when he's the scariest in the anime, because he's so always like deadpan in a way. So when someone gets a rise out of him, it's that much scarier.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I like that dude who I just looked up because I can't remember what I saw him in. Because I looked him up before. I was like, who the fuck this guy? He looked familiar. He's not in Game of Thrones, so what is it?
Alex Hassel?
Yeah.
Bebop the Boys.
Yeah, he's translucent in The Boys. I know that much. There was something else I saw him. I was like, oh yeah, he was in that. And
National Theater. Sorry, yeah. I misread that. Genius, Miniaturist, Suburbicon. Not a whole lot that I would recognize him from, just because I don't really
watch British shit.
A Midnight and Summer Night's Dream.
No, maybe I don't know what it was then. It's weird. I know I remember looking up and it's like, oh, he plays Translucent. And I was like, wait, did they ever show Translucent's face?
He was on Torchwood in 2006.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff I know of, but nothing long term. I mean, other than a show called Bonkers, which is real bizarre name for anything.
Wait.
But anyways, what I was gonna say is he's good. It just I don't think they made Vicious properly in the show, in the live action show. To me, I don't know, and I could be wrong about that, but to me, he doesn't have the same. There's parts of it that are where he's just like stone cold, but he's just too. I think it's because he broods too much in some of the episodes, and I was like, I don't think so. But it doesn't take me away from it. And you and I are, I think, some of the more forgiving fans of things, where we do.
I would say so.
We're not as critical as like someone like this. Why isn't Spike 6'11" and skinnier than now?
Why isn't he younger? Because he's supposed to be like 20 something in the anime, but John Cho's like 50 something or 40 something. I can't remember how old he is, but he's much older than what the actual character is. Yeah, as long as I can find enjoyment in it, yeah, I'll like it, despite some of the things that I felt were a little cringy. The final thing I'd have to say that I found a little cringy, and it got better as the season went on, but some of the ancillary bad guys are so weirdly cartoony in the way that they play them.
Yeah, and I think it's because, I mean, obviously they come from a cartoon, but there's something
well in the cartoon, but it just looks weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that don't translate from animated to live action, and so someone has to really ham it up to really be that way. The one thing, and oddly enough, the one that got me, that I think was the happiest I was about any of the characters, was the teddy bear bomber.
Yeah.
I loved everything they did with him. Like when he was like sitting there with the dead man's trigger, and he's wearing just the fucking head.
He has just underwear on.
Yeah, like, and then they knock him out, and he's still just wearing the head. And I was like, that is so great that they did that.
Mm-hmm.
They could have easily not had a human being in tidy whities with a teddy bear head on, but they did, and it just made me laugh out loud.
And that was one of the fun episodes where they focused a bit more on the bounty side of things.
Yeah.
If I recall right, there was still the a subplot there about Vicious and the Syndicate, and then I think you also had the same. I think it was the same episode where Jet, for some reason they gave Jet a full-on family. Like, I know he had a family in the anime, but it wasn't like very prevalent.
It doesn't really go see him.
Here they're like, look, he has a family on Earth. He travels to Earth to see his family. He uses those hollow projection things to go see his daughter's rehearsal, which, by the way, and this will be the last thing I say, that sequence made me laugh so much. It was great, where Jet is they're on that bounty. They're trying to find that wasn't the bounty. They were trying to find they were trying to hide from
the mink.
The mink, that's what his name was. The mink. And while Faye and her quote unquote mother were off trying to find Faye's identity kit, yeah. And Jet just steps off into that shop, pops that little thing that basically projects him over to Earth so that he can watch his daughter's ballet performance. But in the background, you see Spike just kicking ass and getting his ass kicked by a bunch of the Mink's men. It was like, that's just cutting back and forth between that was just so fucking hilarious to me. So that's why I say there are a lot of faults in this show. Especially if you've watched the anime and you thoroughly enjoy the anime. But I think there's enough different, and that's what they wanted to do. They didn't want to just remake shot for shot the anime. They wanted to make something different. And the guy who created the anime, I forgot his full name, Watanabe, he was a part of this show. He was a consultant or a producer or something. I can't remember what it is. So he had a hand in this show. So everything that they've done probably went through him at one point or another, and he, yes, no, let's do this, let's do that type thing. I'm only guessing, but he had a hand in this show. I think it's a very good show. It's different enough to kind of keep you guessing on what's going to happen next. But I think what they're doing with it is that they want to make it. Obviously, Bebop was written for 24 episodes because that's pretty much what you did back then. Animes weren't multi-season things; they were just a thing that you did and you were done with. So they had a story arc to tell. Surprise, surprise! If I recall right, too, Bebop was something that was not easy to get made because not many companies. There were no companies really that thought it would be a good idea. So it took a while for Bebop to get made, and then become this hit type thing. So I'm hoping that what they're doing here is they're looking for the long-term game. They're going to make this a multi-season thing, not just let's just retell the original anime and be done with it type thing. That's what they're doing here. So I'm hoping that they pick it up for season 2. And we fixed some of the flaws in it, get a little bit better action here and there. I hope we get a season 2.
Me too. Anyhow, done with Cowboy Bebop talk for right now. Let's talk South Park post-COVID.
Yep.
So Paige and I watched it last night.
I watched it a couple days ago, so things are a little bit more foggy for me.
First off, holy shit, this was so funny. Like,
right?
This is the third pandemic special they did. Right. The first one was super hilarious. The second one was hit or miss on some of the stuff. Wasn't as funny as there was parts of it were funny, but overall wasn't as funny as the first one. This one, I legit paused it a couple times, laughing so hard because the audacity they had to do what they were doing. So, for the folks who don't know, South Park post-COVID is the first from the new contract they signed with Paramount under their new the new header, which is MTV something Studios or whatever it is, which is the contract they got is just, it's like almost as asinine as the Rick and Morty one, but it's not as long. So they did the first COVID one. They did the second one, which was South Park, right? Was the second one was that the second one or the first one? What was the name of the first one? Hold on.
The first special event?
Yeah. Wasn't the vaccination special was the second one, because that's the South Park with a Q vaccination special was the second one. The first one had its own name, and I don't remember what it was called. Oh, MTV Entertainment Studios is the name of the studio that was the production company is under now for them. Why can't I find this? Anyhow, so the reason I found this funny is it was called the Pandemic Special. That's
the
what
Pandemic Special. Yeah,
that was the first one. Yeah, is they did a time jump, right? And the time jump was explained by explaining the future to the people who are in the future. And it was this running gag through the whole thing that just made me laugh out loud so many times. And there's other shit that is just unexplained, like the weird helmet hat things that people are wearing.
Right.
That, like, not everyone wears, but, like, service industry.
The server, yeah.
The news anchors, the doctors, like, I don't know, it was very strange to me. It was just...
No, that was pretty weird, yeah.
Like, because there was, like, all these, like, when he first dismisses his wife and he says, "Alexa, stop," and she literally fades out, and I was like...
that's not really his wife, or is his wife, and he married his Alexa.
I was like, oh my
Dude, the
God.
interactions with those two were so fucking hilarious, and just like she'd get more and more pissed, and then like offer a discount on something, or like, dude, would you like me to tell you more about such and such service? And he's like, no, not right now, or yes, fine, tell me.
Dude, it made me laugh so hard. It was just like, this is like the perfect example of the future.
Alexa, change the channel, and she walks up to the TV and changes the channel.
Dude. And then he's like, when he's trying to get her to like pause the video, go back and then zoom it and enhance and then go 10 frames to the right. And I was like, and she's just using the remote. I was like,
yeah.
Oh my God, this is so great. I mean, obviously it makes no sense because it's supposed to be a hologram, but somehow she can interact with the remote. Whatever. It just made me laugh so hard because of how stupid it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, oh my God, dude. And like the whole thing with Cartman and how Kyle just doesn't believe him. And it just, there was so many parts that I was just laughing at so much because it's so dumb. But it's like South Park dumb, where it's like, it's fucking smart, but fucking stupid at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For those who don't know, Cartman, because obviously in the actual show, Cartman makes fun of Kyle for being Jewish this whole entire time. But then you find out in this 30 or 40 year jump, Cartman has not only converted to Judaism, but actually has become a rabbi in this amount of time. And Kyle thinks that he's just playing some sort of long game. Like the first time that he sees him, and you see him dressed up, Kyle's like, what the fuck is this? This is fucking bullshit. You're such a fucking liar. He's like, no, I've converted completely to Judaism. I'm a rabbi now. And then he's like, meet my wife. And he says her name, which is
Yentl.
Very Jewish, very Jewish sounding name. She's Jewish. And Kyle's just like, no, you are fucking with me. This is some sort of long game that you're playing. This is absolutely awful. You should be ashamed of yourself. And then, like, you find out that he's got 2 kids that are named Jewish, that are Jewish named. They all wear yarmulkes, and he's just like ebbing back and forth the whole entire time about being good. But then Cartman does something fucking stupid and shitty, like Cartman would do, just to get a rise out of Kyle and make it seem like Kyle's an asshole. God damn, it was so good. Yeah,
it was just, and then the like I got to the end part, and it's funny, you told me, you didn't spoil what it was, but you literally said they're gonna keep saying something, and you referenced S.H.I.E.L.D., and I was like, so I'm listening for it, and never once did I hear anything, and I was like, we're getting to the end, and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Didn't catch anything, and I was listening to every fucking word, trying to analyze it. And then the doctor sets the food down and walks away, and you see Victor Chaos, and I was like,
they kept pronouncing it Victor Chow the whole entire
I was like,
time.
God damn it!
His assistant Victor Chow, and I just kept thinking to myself, who the fuck is Victor Chow? I have who the fuck? Like, okay, whatever. And then, like you said, you get to the end, feeds the food, it pans over the nameplate, and I had to rewind. I was like, Victor Chaos. Butters?
I was like, God damn it,
oh my
Butters.
Fucking God, how did I not even think of that? Yeah, and that's why I was trying to give the hint of, like, it's a name play that, yeah,
it's just, oh my God, dude. I was like, God damn it, that is so fucking good. And, like, the, every little bit of it was just, like, the whole thing where, like, they're like, he hid it in a place only his friends would know, and I was like thinking to myself, they don't have like a hangout or somewhere. And then once
I kept thinking, I was like in his shitty house, like that's, and yeah,
and I was like, and then like in his ass, and I was like, it's not gonna be his ass. Someone's gonna figure something else out. And then Stan said it in his ass, and I was like, it's gonna be literally in his ass.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot fucking believe they're gonna do this, and they did it. And they fucking did it. Like, they go in, they derobe him. You see his dead entire body, including fucking genitalia. And they flop him over, and then he goes fucking, like, mid-wrist deep in Kenny's dead asshole to dig out that thing. And then of all things for Cartman to throw up of is the flash drive thingy, the future flash drive thingy was covered in shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes him throw up. And I was like, you just watched a childhood friend of yours dig his arm damn near elbow deep in another childhood friend of yours' dead anus, and the poop on the flash drive made you throw up.
Yep.
That is so great.
Right.
It just made me
I
laugh.
do like how they played Kenny, too. They covered up his face with a beard and glasses and hat.
And they never let him talk?
Kenny, and they never really made him talk. Like, even during that interview, the reporter, like, would ask a question, and you're like, is he going to... And then she would interrupt him and ask another question. And he's like going to say something, and she interrupts with another question. This is fucking just genius, guys. This is just fucking hilarious.
And the one time he does talk, his face is covered, so he sounds like Kenny.
Yeah.
And I was like... Yeah. That's so fucking smart. Like, I hate you so much.
Dude, right?
It's just, god damn it, dude. It's so funny.
The fact that he invents time travel to go back in time to stop what you think is COVID, but is really just, he's trying to stop his friends from being assholes to each other.
Yeah, the bromance.
The end of that. But he ends up killing everybody, all of his assistants and shit in the process. When he comes back, he's just like, oh, looks around. And then just walks off, coughs, and dies, apparently. Yeah.
I was like, god damn it. So good. Like,
the fact that they addressed as well where COVID comes from in South Park as well. It had me dying that finally came out like that.
Yeah, it just, so funny. I was like, god damn it. You guys are ridiculous, and I love it so much.
Yo, and that Stan's mom and sister are dead was
Bro!
Like, what the fuck?
Bro, dude, I was like, what do you mean? And then they say it, and I was like...
It's the most horrible thing ever that Stan lights the farm on fire, which kills Shelly because she was locked in the barn, I think it was, because their dad wanted her to enjoy weed more. And then because of the grief that of her daughter dying, the mom, whose name is I'm spacing out on, Sharon, ends up killing herself. It was like, that's so fucking dark, guys. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude,
I was like, just playing it for laughs. I mean, don't get me wrong, I laughed at some of those parts, but man, I didn't feel good at it.
Yeah, it was just, I was like, wow, you guys are really fucking pushing everything you possibly can. Like, you're like, the fact that it's on a streaming service and like it's probably never gonna really go anywhere but a streaming service, just, I think there's like, oh wait, we can breathe ridiculous life into this and just be fucking ridiculous. My favorite part about that whole thing is when you said that it was a cliffhanger, and I was like, all right, whatever. The whole time travel thing happened. I was like, okay, that's the cliffhanger part. They're gonna have to, like, it's gonna whatever. And then he comes back, and you're like, I'm like, wait, hold on, what? And then he just walks off camera, coughs, and then you realize he's dead. And I was like, wait, hold on, what's the cliffhanger? And the cliffhanger is the weed, the integrity weed is back.
Yeah.
And Victor Chaos is the assistant. And I was like, it has nothing to do with anything COVID related. It literally has to do with the fact that they're just assholes to each other during the pandemic, which is what happened to a lot of people during the pandemic. And that was the whole premise of these three specials, these hour-long specials, is to show that the kids, their friendship fell apart, and it was the only thing that kept Kenny like happy was were his friends. And I was like,
yep,
you guys are just too fucking smart. Like, it just makes me mad how smart of a move that was. Sons of bitches. Sons of bitches, I tell you.
I agree.
Yeah, just super funny. Just the whole thing was just hilarious. Like I said, the whole, like, explaining the future thing over and over again to people in the future like they don't know they're in the future just was unbearably hilarious to me. Every time they did it, it didn't get tiresome. Like, even the the second time you hear Kyle's doorbell and he just starts singing, because we're in the future and doorbells sing. I was like...
He's like, I know, I'm in the future too, or something like that.
So
like,
funny, dude. I was like, God damn it. It's so good. It's so funny. And the anti-vaxxer thing was pretty fucking hilarious.
Right. The fact that they had the emergency masks that they start passing out and everybody just starts putting them on their chins.
We're out of chin diapers, everyone. I was like, God damn it.
Right.
And the best part today is we Paige and I went out the house, and because I know it's weird to think about, and we see this dude, and we're walking into I think it's Walgreens. Yeah, Walgreens. We're walking into Walgreens, and oh no, I'm sorry. We're walking into Cobblestone. The dude's walking out of Cobblestone, fiddling with something, puts a mask on underneath his chin, goes and gets in his vehicle, and I was like, wait, hold on.
Walked out of the place and put the mask on?
You walked out of a confined space to put your mask on underneath your chin to get in your own vehicle.
I don't get it either.
Okay. I don't know where maybe I missed it where he had it on and then he took it off for some reason and he was walking out. I don't know. But to me it looked like he fished it out of his pocket, put it on his face wrong, and then got in his own vehicle and drove away. And I was like,
weird.
Nice chin diaper, bud. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, I was like, how could this be a thing? I just watched this South Park special, and this fucking guy is in my vision. It was so weird. I was like, Jesus, you can't even write this shit down. Ugh. It was, anyways. South Park, it was fucking hilarious.
Very good. Definitely.
And I'm so excited to see what they do going forward. I don't know what it's going to be, but oh my God, man, it was so good. Like, it was just so funny, and they completely, like, just lambasted everything. Like, I think it was when was it when his dad was talking about everything, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like, the pandemic happened, and then that what do you call him? He said that fucking that idiot got elected president or whatever, and then and that's what he's explaining. He goes, and then I had sex with that thing over in China, or some guy had sex with whatever
that pangolin over in China.
Yeah, and and then so I kind of started COVID, and I was like,
yeah.
You just summed up I was like, God damn it, so funny, so goddamn hilarious. It just made me laugh so much.
Me too.
Anyhow,
can't wait for more.
Yeah. I did see a thing though. I was just looking at it. It just says a multi-year deal from anywhere from 500 to 55 or 500 to 550 $1 million deal.
Yeah.
And I was like,
they got paid out a lot.
I was like, dang.
There's something like some ridiculous amount of episodes that we're supposed to be getting beyond these specials.
Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, that is so much, so much, goddamn money and ridiculousness.
Yep.
Can't even fucking find it again. Whatever. Yeah, and I was like, I just remember seeing that deal. I know we talked about it before. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast or not, but and I was just like, man, that's a lot. Like that's a lot
of money for an animated show
that's been on the fucking air for fucking 20 something years now or whatever.
God, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, dude, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So much. But I mean, the dudes are so funny, and the fact that it's probably pretty cheap at this point to make what they're making, it just seems like that's a shit ton of money. Oh, and by the way, did you legit think they were gonna have Mr. Hanky in this? When
they cut to it, when Kyle was like, wishing on it, I was like, are they gonna do it? It seems like they're gonna do it, and then they just didn't. And it was like, oh, I guess we're not getting Mr. Hanky.
I was like, that'd be so great.
Special. been too good, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, I kept looking for random shit. Like when they started showing the kids grown up, and I was like, there's got to be some reference to like Towley somewhere, right? Like there has to be.
Towley, the shitty walk.
Yeah, like
I kept expecting that's where, because they were doing when Stan got back into town, which, by the way, I absolutely was. It was fucking hilarious how they presented that very much like it.
Mm-hmm.
With all the children coming back because it's happening again. I was just like, oh my God. And they even had, because it was Token that calls them all back, right? Yeah. The one black character calling them all back to the town. And the fact that Jimmy was the comedian, he's got his own show. It was so good. I was just like, God damn it, this is a fucking It reference right here. And this is just goddamn so fucking hilarious. Oh, man.
So good. Yeah. It was just so great. Like, they did such a good job. And like,
but yeah, on the other point, yeah, I kept looking for things too. Like just any reference I could. I'm trying to remember. There was one, they were panning through the streets when Stan first got there. And I had to rewind because I was like, fuck, what was it? I can't remember what it was now. I had to rewind it because I was like, did I just see what I thought I saw? Yes, I did see what I thought I saw, and I can't remember what it was. No.
Yeah, and everything was like named like Best Buy Plus or something Max.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, did they just reference Best Buy but Plus in this app? That's what it was. Yeah, I had to rewind to that, and I was like, oh, it's Best Buy Plus. And then you're right, like it was always plus, everything.
Yeah, it was or and then like Denny's, Applebee's, Max Plus or whatever it was, and I was like, God damn it, it's so funny. And then the when they said that there's a someone tested positive for a new variation of it, and it was called COVID-19. What was it? What did they say it was? It was like Premium Plus something or other. Like it had a bunch of some dumb fucking name on it, and I was like, God damn it. That's the part that got Paige and I laughing when he's explaining everything, like the fall of like COVID happening, and it's like China grabbing power, and it all started with Space Jam 2.
Yeah,
I was like, what a dick move! Like
Space Jam 2,
yeah. I was like, it has no reason to bring that up, but they're just like, we need something that's shitty to say about something, and it's like Space Jam 2, and I was like, fuck. Yeah. The best part is they don't even call it by its actual title. They just call it Space Jam 2 like every other asshole. I was like, that's great. So great. Yeah, so I think that's about it.
Yeah. There were a couple of things that I think we'll go over next time. That'd be interesting to go over. Okay. I know real quick that off those other two things, Jordan Peele finished his filming. They wrapped filming for Nope.
Yeah.
His new movie, which he is shot in IMAX, so 65 millimeter film. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I saw that.
I can't wait for that. There's absolutely no. They haven't announced what it's about at all. He's kept this script apparently so under wraps that no one knows what it's about. Maybe not even the actors. That'd be weird.
He tried to M. Night Shyamalan him?
Yeah, pretty much. They filmed like 3 different movies, and he's like, I'm just going to cut them together.
Made 3 different movies, but to his head, he knows what parts he needs, so he got those right, and so he can just chop it up and to make the movie.
All together.
And they're
that's how you do it.
Was it?
That is how you do it.
Was it the first Halloween movie they did that with?
I don't know. I'm just referencing like all those movies that you've heard that they've shot like multiple endings, so no one knows exactly what the ending is.
Oh, it was Friday the 13th. That's what it was. They were shooting it, and like no one knew what was actually happening in it because it was like nobody had the full like script because they were writing it as they were going, and none of it just made sense. And when they saw it, they're like, oh, that's what we were doing. Like nobody knew. Like they're like, we don't even know what we're making. It's just none of this makes sense. And I was like, that's actually pretty funny. But anyways, yeah, I did see the thing about Nope being finished, and I kind of hope that Nope has nothing to do with anything with the movie. It's just the name that he chose to make or to pick for the movie. Mainly because, I mean, it's just the word Nope. Who fucking knows what that could possibly mean?
But it's right in line with his other movies, though, which are all one word movies. Us and
Get Out was first one.
Get Out. Okay, it's a two word movie, but whatever. It's hyphenated. It's basically one word, right? It's hyphenated. I think it's hyphenated. I'm going to say it's hyphenated, and we're just going to leave it there.
Okay, it's not hyphenated. I gotcha.
Whatever. It's hyphenated. You're hyphenated. This whole podcast is hyphenated.
Hey, man, speaking of being hyphenated, comes naturally. We are
Joe.
I am Cody. This has been this week's episode. And as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Hyphenated.